Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to try a new way of doing book reviews. So what I'm going to do is, instead of reviewing each book individually, I'm just going to do a monthly wrap-up of the books that I read in that month. So I have a huge stack for the last 3 months because I haven't done reviews really on anything that I've read lately. So this one is just going to be 3 months in one video, and then from now on it'll just be 1 month. So the next one after this will be October's reading wrap-up video. I will still be doing individual reviews for books that I really love, so probably 5 stars or 4 stars that I just love a whole lot. And then if there's anything that you guys really want a proper review on, I will do that. So let's get started. So for the month of July, I got 4 books read, and the first book was Vampire Kisses, the beginning, and this is a bind-up of the first 3 books in the series. So I read the first book way back when I was in middle school, and I remember just loving it. I fell in love with it. I absolutely could not live without it. I didn't own it, but I read it like a gazillion times in middle school. So that was the only one I ever read. For some reason, I never read the sequels. So I decided to get the bind-up of the first 3 and read them because I was like, hey, I loved them then, I'll love them now. Well, it's not true. I really did not enjoy the book very well. It was too cheesy for me, and I didn't like the stupid plot lines, and it really is for middle schoolers. It's not for, people out of high school and in college. Definitely not that kind of book. But for some people, I guess they still like it. I would recommend this for younger preteens. I think they would enjoy it more. I liked the cheesy vampire. He was, the very cliche goth girl and the very cliche vampire, which I like that because every other vampire book out there, it's been invented in some new way. So I really liked that about it, but I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the pacing, overall, I gave it a 3 stars. I don't think I'll be checking out the 4th book. So, that's that one. The second book that I read in the month of July was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. And this book actually was better than I thought it was going to be. I don't really like Jane Austen. I don't really like old books. I don't really like classics. They put me to sleep. And for the first half of this book, I really was falling asleep. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care what happened. But about halfway through, I found myself really wanting to know what was going to happen. I had never read Pride and Prejudice, and I had never seen the movie either, so I had no idea if she was going to end up with Mr. Darcy or not. So I actually rather enjoyed it. The zombie aspect, it didn't take over the story. It was just one of those things that was there that, the story is exactly the same, I assume, as the original story, but there's just zombies every now and then, and they fight them and kill them, and that was just a great little, addition to it. So I will definitely be checking out more of these quirk classics, these redoing ones. The next one I think I'm going to get is Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters, because it looks like there's a giant octopus in it, and I love octopuses. I don't know why. I love them. They're so, magnificent. Yeah. This is a good one. I enjoyed it. It was a 3 stars. Still a 3 stars because I didn't, love it. It took me quite a while to read it, but overall I enjoyed it, and for a classic it was good. So good. The third book that I read was a reread, and it is Among the Free. This was the last book in the Shadow Children sequence series, whatever. I read the whole I reread the whole series this year, and just not as good as I remembered, which was kind of sad. I found myself really kind of bored and just wanting the books to be over so I could read something much better. But I still enjoyed them for nostalgia reasons, because I loved these books when I was in 6th grade. I loved them. But, you know, it was okay. It was not as great as of an ending as the rest of the books were, but whatever. I think I gave this one 3 stars as well. Lots of 3 stars. The last book I read in July is an amazing book. I did a review on this one, and it is Blood Red Road by Moira Young. Oh, if you guys saw the review, you already know that I gave this 5 stars. It was just really great. I loved the pacing. I loved the main character. She was incredible. This was just an incredible book. I can't wait for the sequel. Go read this one. Go read it. I've already begged and pleased you in the last video, so I'm not gonna do it again. But do go read it. I only got 2 books read in August. I just haven't been in the reading mood the last 2.5 months or so. So the books that I did get read in August are Pretties by Scott Westerfeld, the second in the Ugly series. I gave this one 4 stars. I did not like it as much as the first one, but the way it ended, I'm like dying to get the third one. But for me, with trilogies, the second book is always my least favorite anyway, so, you know, I definitely will be getting the third one. I really want to read it. But yeah, 4 stars. It was slower. There wasn't really as much action as the first one. I have to tell you though, I did like the love interest much better than in the first one, so I'm hoping that she sticks with the guy in this one come the third book instead of going back to the guy in the first one, because I didn't like him, but I liked the one in here. I've forgotten his name. That's terrible. But yeah, this one was good. I liked it. Just not as much as the first one. And I want the third one. Specials. There's the cover with the spine. Guy's back. It's cool. So yeah, I like these new covers too a lot better than the original covers, and I like the size better. But yes, go read this book. It was a great one too. And the last book I read in August was Dreams of the Dead by Thomas Randall. And I was really, really excited for this one because this book takes place in Japan. And it's about an American girl. She transfers to Japan. She moves with her father to Japan. And they're basically starting life over. Fresh start. And, but when she gets there, you know, people start dying. She's having horrible dreams. And she wants to get to the bottom of it. And so, you know, it's a scary story. But for me, the scary factor was not there. It didn't feel creepy at all. The creepy scenes, I think they should have been rewritten. They could have been a lot better. But other than that, I liked everything else. I liked the characters. They weren't, you know, none of them really stood out as memorable, but, you know, they were all good characters. I didn't wish that a certain character wasn't in the story. I didn't, you know, but they were all okay. I did like the story. I do want to check out the second book, because I think that one came out, like, this year, I think. So, I like this cover, too. Reminds me of The Grudge. But the fact that it was in Japan was what really caught my attention. And the prologue was incredible. It was better than all the other creepy parts with the, you know, supernatural creature, whatever. I'm not going to tell you what it is because that'd be ruining it. But yeah, 4 stars. If you want a creepy book that's supposed to be scary but that's not horrifying, I guess I would read this one, but as far as a scary story, it didn't do justice, but it was still a good book. In September, I only read 2 books as well. Like I said, I haven't been in the reading mood the last couple months, so yeah. So the first one I read is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This is a reread, of course. I've been rereading the whole series throughout the whole year, and I've now reread the last one, and just as good, if not better, as the first time I read it. This is only the second time I've read it. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to start rereading the series again, though, but I'm not going to, because if I do, I will eventually make myself sick of Harry Potter, and I don't want to do that. That would be the worst thing ever. So I'm gonna wait, a good maybe 2 years before I reread the series again. Just that, everything will be fresh and new, and all the jokes I'll have forgotten, and so 5 times a billion, 5 million, 5 billion stars for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Yes, I love this book. And so the last book I read in September was Prophecy of the Sisters, and I did not really care for this book. It was okay. It was boring, really. The only good thing about this book was the plot, and the characters were boring as hell. The writing was dull. It was just overall boring. I found myself wishing I could just read it faster so that I could get on to the next book, because I didn't really care. I give it 3 stars. I might note the hesitation on might. I might check out the second one. If I do, it'll be at the library though, so I didn't like this one, but it did get a 3 stars, so it wasn't terrible, but I just didn't like it. I liked it, during the beginning, first 100 pages or so it was good, but then it didn't go anywhere. It was boring, and I've never wanted to burn a book, but I wouldn't be upset if this one got burnt.